Friends, you are watching Path Maths online classes. My dear students, in our classes, we have completed 10 chapters from your NCERT book, and the last chapter we discussed was your vectors. So today we are going to start the next chapter, which is chapter number 11 from your NCERT book, and it is known as 3-dimensional geometry. So first of all, let us discuss what is your 3-dimensional geometry. 3 axes, x-axis, y-axis, z-axis taken together is known as 3-dimensional geometry. This is your x-axis, this is your y-axis, and this is your z-axis. 3 axes taken together is known as 3-dimensional geometry, and also this is the geometric setting in which we require 3 values to determine the position of an element or a point. So mainly the 3D is used to determine the position of any element or any point. So for that, let us consider any point P having coordinates x1, y1, z1. Because we are discussing about the 3D, so the coordinates of the point P will be in the form of x1, y1, z1. Let us consider this point, which is your origin. This is the point O with coordinates 0, 0, 0. Then OP is said to be a vector. Already we discussed that vector is a directed line segment. So this is O, P will be a vector which is directed from the point O to P and can be represented by x1 minus 0 into I cap, y1 minus 0 into j cap, z1 minus 0 into k cap. Or simply this can be written as OP will be equal to x1 I cap plus y1 j cap plus z1 k cap. This is already discussed in the chapter number 10, that how can we form a vector passing through the 2 points, where O is your known as initial point and P is known as your terminal point of the vector OP. My dear students, I have told you also that the coefficient of I cap, j cap, k cap means coordinates which is your x1 minus 0, y1 minus 0 and z1 minus 0 of the vector is known as your scalar components. Scalar components of the vector, and also these are known as your direction ratios, or these are also known as direction numbers. So in this chapter, in place of scalar components, we will call the components x1 minus 0, y1 minus 0, z1 minus 0 as your direction ratios of the vector OP, or these are also known as direction numbers. So we will call direction ratios in the coming chapter. Now, if this vector OP, this vector OP now is making an angle alpha with x-axis, making an angle beta with your y-axis, and gamma with your z-axis, then alpha, beta and gamma, these are known as your direction angles. These are known as your direction angles, and by taking cosine with all these angles like cos alpha, cos beta and cos gamma, these are known as your direction cosines. These are known as direction cosines, and in short form these are denoted by DCs. So in case whenever direction angles are given to you, then you can directly find the direction cosines by taking cosines with all the angles. And further, if you are given with a vector, as this is your OP vector x1 I cap, y1 j cap and z1 k cap, and you want to find the direction cosines of this vector, then this can be obtained through the formula. This is given by direction cosines along x-axis, which is cos alpha, is given by scalar component or the direction ratio along x-axis, which is your x1 upon magnitude of the vector OP. So simply this can be written as x1 over x1 square plus y1 square plus z1 square under the root. This is your cos alpha. Same as cos beta, it can be obtained by, this is the direction cosine along y-axis, and this can be obtained by y1 over OP magnitude which is direction ratio along y-axis divided by magnitude, and this can be written as y1 over x1 square plus y1 square plus z1 square under the root. And last is your cos gamma, and this is given by direction ratio along z-axis, which is your z1 over OP magnitude. And further it can be written as z1 over x1 square plus y1 square plus z1 square under the root. So these are the direction cosines of a vector along x-axis, along y-axis and along z-axis. And these direction cosines along x-axis, y-axis, z-axis are represented by small l, small m and small n. And my dear students, you will find that in any of the cases, in all the cases, you will find L square plus M square plus N square will always be equal to 1. You can check by yourself by taking the square of the cosines of each component, like along x-axis, along y-axis, along z-axis. Cos square alpha will be your x1 square over x1 square plus y1 square plus z1 square. Cos square beta will be your y1 square upon x1 square plus y1 square plus z1 square, and cos square gamma will be your z1 square upon x1 square plus y1 square plus z square, because the denominator is same, and by adding all these you will find that x1 square plus y1 square plus z1 square upon x1 square plus y1 square plus z1 square will be cancelled out. The answer will be your 1. So you will find the L square plus M square plus N square is always equal to 1. Now my dear students, this was all about the direction ratios and the direction cosines of a vector passing through a point, 2 points whose initial point will be given to you and whose terminal point will be given to you. Now let me start the exercise 11.1, which is completely based on your direction ratios and direction cosines of a vector. So the first question of your NCERT book is given to you. Let's see the first question. It is if a line makes angle 90 degree, 135 degree and 45 degree with positive x-axis, y-axis, z-axis respectively, then find its direction cosines. बच्चों में क्या दिया हुआ है? डायरेक्शन एंगल्स गिवन है 90 डिग्री, 135 डिग्री एंड 45 डिग्री, एंड वी वांट टू फाइंड द डायरेक्शन कोसाइंस. एंड इट्स वेरी इजी, मैंने आपको बताया भी, अगर आपको अल्फा बीटा गामा विच आर नोन एज डायरेक्शन एंगल्स आर गिवन टू यू, देन बाय टेकिंग कोसाइंस, कोस अल्फा, कोस बीटा, कोस गामा आर नोन एज योर डायरेक्शन कोसाइंस ऑफ द गिवन वेक्टर. सो लेट्स do the question number 1 from your exercise 11.1. This is given that angles are your 90 degree, 135 degree and 45 degree. Then direction cosines are cos 90 degree, cos 135 degree, cos 45 degree. And this will give you cos 90 is always 0. Cos 135 can be obtained by using coordinate system, which is 180 minus 45. This is lying in your second quadrant, and in second quadrant cos 180 minus theta is second quadrant, and second quadrant cos theta is always negative. So this is minus cos 45, and which is equal to minus 1 by root 2. So this is your minus 1 by root 2 comma and 1 by root 2. So these are the direction cosines of a line with making angle 90 degree, 135 degree and 45 degree with the x-axis, y-axis and z-axis respectively. Now let's see the second question. Find the direction cosine of a line which makes equal angles with the coordinates axis. This is very much given that the angle made by the line is your equal with x-axis, y-axis and z-axis respectively. Then the direction ratios will also be equal to each other in that case. So let me take this vector A is your xi cap plus xj cap plus xk cap, because this is making the same angle with your x-axis, y-axis, z-axis respectively, which implies that the direction ratios are also equal to each other. And so after getting the direction ratios of this vector, we can find the direction cosines by the formula. Cos alpha is given by x upon x square plus x square under the root, and this is your x upon 3x square under the root, and which is given by x upon root 3x. Cancel out, this is 1 by root 3. Cos beta is given by same as x upon x square plus x square plus x square and root, and this is your x upon root 3x square, and which is your x upon root 3x. Cancel out, this is 1 upon root 3. Same as cos gamma will be your x upon root 3x, which will give you your 1 upon root 3 again. So direction cosines will also be same in case whenever it is making an angle alpha, beta, gamma are equal to each other. So this was the question number 2, my dear students. Let's do the question number 3 now. So let's do the question number 3, and question number 3 states that if a line has the direction ratios -18, 12 and -4, then we need to find the direction cosines. So we are given with the direction ratios. Direction ratios of the line are your -18, 12 and -4. We want to write down the direction cosines. So dear students, we know very well how can we find the direction cosines. Direction cosines is always given by direction ratio upon the magnitude of the vector. So let me find the, first of all, magnitude of this vector. This is given by -18 square plus 12 square plus -4 square under the root, and this is your given by 18 square is given by always, this is equal to 324 plus this is 144 plus 16 under the root, and this is equal to I think this is 484 under root, and this is equal to 22. So the magnitude of this vector is given as 22. So the direction cosines of this vector is given by -18 upon 22 comma 12 upon 22 comma -4 upon 22. So these are the direction cosines, and they further can be written as your -9 by 11. Cancel out, 2 6 this is 11, 2 2 11, and comma 6 by 11 and -2 by 11. So these are the direction cosines of the given line. And the last question, this is the question number 4 now we want to do. The question number 4 is yours. Show that the points are collinear. We have to show that the points are collinear, and points may be collinear in case whenever direction ratios of the two vectors are proportional to each other. So what we will do, we will find the two vectors from these 3 points AB and BC, and we'll check whether the direction ratios are proportional to each other or not. For that, let me first of all find the direction ratios from the 3 points. The points are given as your, that this is point A with coordinates 2, 3, 4. Second point is your -1, -2 and 1. And the third point C is your, this is given as 5, 8, 7. 5, 8, 7. And let me check whether these 3 points are collinear or not, or for that we need to find the direction ratios of the vectors joining these 2 points AB and BC first of all. So let me find the direction ratios of the vector AB, and these are given by x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1 and z2 minus z1. क्योंकि direction ratios निकालने के लिए we have the formula to find the x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1 and z2 minus z1, and this will be given by -1, -2 is -3, -2 minus 3 is -5, 1 minus 4 is -3, and the direction ratios of BC are given by, this is your 5 minus plus 1 6, this is 8 minus plus 2 is 10, and 7 minus 1 is 6. So now you can see that direction ratios of AB and direction ratios of BC both are proportional. -3 by 6, -5 by 10, -3 by 6 both are proportional to each other in the form of 1 by 2. So we can see that -3 by 6, -5 by 10 or -3 by 6, they are all equal to 1 by 2. So direction ratios of AB is proportional to direction ratios of BC. That's why A, B, C point are collinear. So A, B, C, these points are collinear. Now let's do the question number 5. This is your question number 4. Now let me do the question number 5, and this should to be done by yourself, my dear students, in which we are given with the direction cosines of the sides. We need to find the direction cosines of the sides of a triangle whose vertices are given to you. You are given with the vertices of a triangle. Vertices means where the two points intersect each other. That this is the point A, this is point B, this is point C, and we are given with direction ratio. We are given with the vertices as 3, 5 and -4. Second is given as -1, 1 and 2, and third is your -5, -5, -2. So A, B, C vertices are given to you, and if you want to find the direction cosines of the sides of this triangle, so means we want to find the direction cosines of line AB, direction cosines of line BC, direction cosines of the line AC, and you can obtain it very easily by finding the direction ratios. So first of all, we will find the direction ratios of line AB, BC and CA, and then we will use the same formula whatever we used in the last third question. So let me do this question again. This is your, first of all, let me find the direction ratios of line or the side or the vector AB. This is given by -1, -3, -4, 1 -5 is -4, 2 -4 is 6. So direction ratios of line AB is -4, -4, 6. Then the direction cosines are given by, this is -4 upon -4 square plus -4 square plus 6 square under the root, comma, this is again -4 upon same, which is your 16 plus 16 plus 36 under the root, comma, 6 upon, and this is 32 plus 36 is your 68 square root of 68. So further they can be written as -4 upon square root of 68, comma, -4 upon square root of 68, comma, 6 upon square root of 68, and further they can be written as -4 upon, this is your 17 4s are 68. So 2 root 17 can be written as root 68, -4 upon 2 root 17. This can be written as 6 upon 2 root 17. Or they can be written as cancel out, this is cancel out, this is cancel out. So -2 upon root 17, this is -2 upon root 17, -3 upon root 17. So dear students, direction cosines of the line AB is your this one, -2 upon root 17, -2 upon root 17 and 3 upon root 17 is your the direction cosines of the side AB only, and the direction cosines of BC and AC are totally homework for all of you. You have to find the direction cosines of BC by yourself. First of all, you will find the direction ratios of the line BC, then you will find the direction cosines. Same in case of AC line, you will find the direction ratios of the line AC, and then you will find the direction cosines. So this is all about the exercise 11.1 from your from your chapter number 11, and in the next video we will start the next topic, which is to find the equation of line in space. And dear students, one more thing I want to tell you in this video, which is your basic of your exercise 11.1, in which we will find the coordinates or the position vector of a point which divides the lines joining the two other points. So let us consider A and B. This is point A, this is point B having coordinates, this is A having coordinates x1, y1, z1, and this is your B point with coordinate x2, y2, z2, and this is your the line joining by this point A and B, and C is any other third point which is dividing this line segment AB in some ratio m:n internally. Then if you want to find the coordinates of the point C, that can be obtained by section formula. This is not the new one for all of you, this is very much old topic which we have studied in 11th class as well 10th class, section formula which states that if any point which divides the line segment in some ratio m is to n internally, then the coordinates of C will be given by, they will be given by m multiplied by x2 plus n multiplied by x1 over m plus n. Same as your m multiplied by y2 plus n multiplied by y1 over m plus n, and the third will be or given by m multiplied by z2 plus n multiplied by z1 over m plus n. This is the coordinates of the point C. And my dear students, you can also represent this coordinates of point C in the vector form as your position vector of, first of all we have to find the position vector of point A, which is to be measured from origin always. This is your origin O with coordinates 0, 0, 0, and so the position vector of OA will be given by, this is your x1 I cap plus y1 j cap plus z1 k cap, and the position vector of OB vector will be given by x2 I cap, y2 j cap and z2 k cap, and this is your represented by like this. This is your OB vector, position vector of vector OB. If you want to find the position vector of OC vector, which is in this direction, is given by m multiplied by position vector of OB plus n multiplied by position vector of OC divided by sum of the ratio. And we have m multiplied by vector OB के position vector क्या है? This is x2 I cap plus y2 j cap plus z2 k cap plus n multiplied of x1 I cap plus y1 j cap plus z1 k cap divided by m plus n. So this is the position vector of the point OC which divides the line segment joining the points A and B in some ratio m is to n. Internally, my dear student, अगर externally के लिए आपसे बात करते हैं, externally की बात करें, in that case you have to use only the negative sign in between of this one. So this will be plus minus plus minus plus minus. Negative sign used for your externally point. If C point is dividing AB in externally, then you have to use your minus sign only. If this is dividing internally, then you have to use only positive sign. So this is the difference in between of internally and externally. Externally means the point which is your outside the line segment AB anywhere. So this is something like this. If this point is C, which is your externally from your line segment AB. So if this point is dividing the line segment in some ratio m is to n, then you have to take the negative sign in between of them, and if this is your internally, then you have to take the positive sign. So this is all about the exercise 11.1 from your NCERT book. So dear students, in the next video we will discuss about the exercise 11.2 and which is based on the equation of line in space. Till then, have a nice day. Take care.